wanted to expand a little bit our outreach. So obviously not everybody can come to Amsterdam, can be in Amsterdam for a long time. Typically, a master program with us takes a year. So one would have to move to Amsterdam, spend the whole year here in Amsterdam. So we thought maybe we can do something that is close enough to what we do in our normal programs in terms of content, but is compressed. So it's in a shorter time. And who is this intended for? Well, basically, I think the primary group that we were thinking of is BA students, advanced BA students, who are thinking of perhaps a master program in the future, so who may want to have kind of a taste of what it is to study Western esotericism, and so they might be interested to find out a little bit about it. But then anybody who is interested, who has enough preparation, education, can join the program. I am going to talk about what it means to study Western esotericism, because I think most people have a kind of general idea of what esotericism is. But then, of course, there is a whole field that has grown in the last 20 years with its own methods, its own discourses, and so on. And I think it's good to familiarize yourself a little bit with what has been done with this literature, what are the main ideas about it, and what it is. What is esotericism actually to begin with?
The goal of the winter school course is to give an overview of the currents that are customarily studied under the rubric of esotericism. Now, when it comes to itemizing the particular beliefs and practices we'll look at, well, there's a wide range, as you could imagine. I should also mention that it's not just an overview, for example, of Kabbalah, Hermeticism, paganism, ceremonial magic, chaos magic, these sort of familiar pieces in the occult mosaic. There's a sort of secret agenda, and I'm going to let you in on it. We're not just going to be studying these. I am a representative of what's called the Amsterdam School. The Amsterdam School is an approach to, we'll just say, occultism, or the elements that are configured within occultism. The Amsterdam School is an approach to these elements that insists on historicity. We insist on an empirical study. So what that means is we try to be unmoved by the biases that have influenced the way these things are studied. So my particular focus is the counterculture. And as a way of illustrating the Amsterdam School, I tend not to use the term counterculture because it already summons up a web of associations, a web of prefabricated beliefs that, in my belief, will in fact be an impediment to the proper study of this material. Now, as I mentioned, we'll be looking at a real galaxy of fascinating esoteric topics. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking of alchemy, the Theosophical Society, and then on to spiritualism and a more broad swath of occultic beliefs. Of course, we'll be talking about my expertise, which is the psychedelic movement, or the movement of psychedelic seekers, however you want to phrase that. But really, it's going to begin in the pre-modern era, and then we will be marching through time, hundreds of years, to the present. And in fact, maybe we'll even go a little bit further and look at science fiction narratives and the imagined future. For example, we'll be looking at the sociology of the occult, which is a fascinating field. We'll be looking at anthropological perspectives into the occult. And underlying all of these, again, I'm coming clean here, is a strong focus on history. Who did what, and where. And from these very elemental factors, we can build a historical narrative. Now, we are setting sail together on a voyage into material that is really understudied. And so instead of insisting on an interpretation, my ears and hopefully the ears of the students will be open to and listening for any type of alternative view into the ways we can understand these things.